Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. I'm Jeff DiVeronica with my co-host Steve Bradley here to talk some Section 5 softball. It's sunny out right now. Spring has sprung, and the Avon Braves have 4 games under their belt as we record this, and they're unbeaten. And there's a big reason for that. We have on our specialties Skype hotline Coach Jill Terry and star pitcher Joleigh Crye join us. Steve, tell us what kind of start this group has had so far.
Well, Jeff, as you mentioned, 4 games. That's 4 wins. And Joleigh has been on the varsity since 8th grade. She's a pitcher. She threw a no-hitter in last year's sectional finals, a 10-0 win over Bloomfield, gave the Braves their first softball championship of all time. And now she's picked up right where she's left off, Jeff. She's got 56 strikeouts and 99 batters faced, 25 innings pitched, one earned run, and 9 hits allowed and 5 walks. So just a great start. And here's the thing about Joleigh. She could have gone Division I in softball or swimming. She's going for swimming to the University of Cincinnati. So one of the best athletes in Section 5.
Well, let's bring her on now with her coach now. And first, congratulations on a great start to the season, all your success, Joleigh. And thanks for being with us, Coach Terry. Joleigh, you're our Bob Johnson Auto Athlete of the Week. You had, 16 strikeouts and a 5-3 win over Letchworth. Letchworth was unbeaten in that game as you headed into it. I guess let's talk about just last year, making school history, winning sectionals. How cool that was for you after losing out on your sophomore season because of COVID. How great was that for the program, and for how happy were you, Joleigh?
Yeah, it was just we've always came super close my 8th grade year and my freshman year, and then missing out sophomore year made junior year that win, and the first Avon win ever, just super special for the whole team. And we worked really hard for it the whole season. And we came a long way. At the beginning of the season, we had a rough start, but at the end, we really pulled it together.
So you coached softball for the varsity from 2010 to 12, went away, started your family, came back JV. This is your first year back on varsity as the head coach, and you've got Joleigh in the circle. What makes this young lady special?
What doesn't? Joleigh's an exceptionally gifted athlete, which makes coaching that much easier because it's always an extra set of eyes, an extra person out there that can kind of help the team along as well. It makes it that much easier to kind of focus in on just making the team better around her, getting them to the place where we can be successful. She takes care of it out there. You know, there's not too many people I've seen pitch like her. That's her intelligence on the mound, being able to read batters, read the situation, is just an asset for our entire program.
Not only that, she's a pretty good hitter too. 583 batting average, 7 for 12 to start the season, couple triples and 7 RBI. But let's focus on pitching. We are going to talk about swimming a little later on in the program here. But have you always been a pitcher, Joleigh? And I guess who turned you into a pitcher, I guess?
I started pitching when I was really young. I got into rec ball, and then my dad was like, okay, we're going to start doing pitching lessons. So yeah, I've been a pitcher since I was really young. And then I kind of just had a natural knack for it. So I really wanted to keep doing pitching lessons and getting better.
Let's talk about
Livingston County softball has been very strong traditionally. Warsaw's made runs, pretty deep runs, and Leroy's had some really good teams just off the top of our head, Wayland Cohocton too. What makes your team, off to a good start? You don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. 4 games in, 4-0. What's been working for the Braves so far this year besides Joleigh?
I think we're a good team. I think we care about each other. We know everybody, has their strong suits and their weaker things that they need to work on. But I think we complement each other well. I think it just works well for us. The kids really, are behind Joleigh. They want her to do well and they want her to be successful. So,
did you have a lot of starters back from the Section 5 championship team?
Yeah, we got a number of kids that came back. I think we've got about 4 returners, I believe, from the sectional team from last year. 6 total kids returned this season.
And is your catcher back? Because I know how important. You can be a great pitcher, but if you don't have a good catcher, you're in trouble. Who's your catcher? A little shout out.
Olivia Pozowski's my catcher. She's a junior this year, and we have really good chemistry so far. We have like a pitch calling strategy, and it's been working really well so far this season, and that's what we did last season as well.
So how many pitches do you throw, and do you have a go-to pitch that where it's 3-2 count tight situation? Anything you're most comfortable with?
I think I throw like 6 pitches, but my go-to is the curveball. I have a knuckle curve, a drop curve, and a regular curveball, but also screwball and rise ball.
How long does it take to perfect that stuff?
A lot of practice. Since I've been young, like I've been practicing like every day, and now it paid off though.
I mean, I'm looking at the stats from last year: 273 strikeouts and 121 innings. And this is a serious question, Coach. How do you keep your fielders engaged without like getting into a lull because they're not fielding a lot of balls, right? Is there anything you do, or other than saying, "Hey, stay alert"?
Yeah, it is a lot of communication just to make sure everybody is alert. But I think one of the things we really want to focus in on is just making sure everybody is moving on every pitch. If you're moving, your body's moving, your mind's going to stay sharp because you're always thinking about where you're going and what's got to happen.
Steve, why don't we take a quick break, come back, and let's dive into the pool and talk about swimming and the next step for you, which is going to college at University of Cincinnati. Not before you don't hopefully try to win a Section 5 title. So we'll take a quick break, come back, talk more Avon Braves softball right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
There's a path to success full of challenges, rewards, inspiration, and strength. A strength that only the U.S. Army Reserve can give you. The skills and experiences you'll get will give you an advantage in your civilian life. Stay close to home, train to develop your strengths, and get on a path to success. Find out more at goarmy.com/reserve.
For more information, contact Syracuse Army Recruiting Center, 315-449-2830. There's strong. Then there's Army Strong, paid for by the U.S. Army.
Whether you come here as a 6th grader or a 9th grader, you have to spend your 4, 5, 6 years here and just get involved in so many different things. And then you're going to go out and set fire on the earth. When you get through McQuay Jesuit, you're not going to fail when you get out in the world.
Tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. 30 years across the country they've been doing this stuff. 20 plus years in Rochester. You don't have that kind of longevity without treating your customers right, doing great quality work. Please check them out online, bathfitter.com. Call the local office at 617-0007. It's Bath Fitter Rochester. Don't be a DIY diva and try to do it yourself. Don't screw it up. Let the pros do it. Remodel with confidence. Remodel with Bath Fitter. And please tell them you heard about it right here from Jeff DiVeronica on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We're brought to you by Salvador's Pizza.
There are plenty of professional sports teams in Rochester, but there's also a lot of great high school sports action in each town in our area. When's the last time you checked out a high school game? Section 5 sports are about more than just wins and losses. They're about teaching teamwork, dedication, and discipline. So support the kids who play for your school. Get out and watch a high school game today. For more information, including schedules, rosters, and stats, visit section5.org. That's sectionv.org. Brought to you by the Monroe County League and Section 5.
In doing the work you do, if you're hurt, we'll help you through.
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff DiVeronica and Steve Bradley here with Avon softball coach Jill Terry and senior pitcher Joleigh Crye, who's not only terrific in softball, and if she's not all going to Rochester, there should be a search party sent out for the people picking that team. But you're also a terrific swimmer. We'll talk about swimming in a minute. Steve, I'll let you take the first question here.
So just looking at your roster, we've got Courtney Yentzer hitting 562, 6 RBIs, and then an 8th grader, Joleigh Crye, 471, 8 for 17, and she's got about 3 innings pitched. Give us a little bit about those players. And Joleigh's been around since 8th grade. Is there a chance that there's going to be a Crye in the circle moving forward too, after Joleigh's jumping in the pool down in Ohio?
Yeah, well, I hope so. So Courtney's been doing great. I think she's really come along from, last year watching her play. She's really kind of stepping into her own. I think the confidence that she's building is really showing through the whole team. She's one of those kids that's been getting up to bat, and you get confidence, like she's getting on base, she's going to hit the ball, she's going to put it in play, which is our number one goal there. As far as Joleigh definitely is going to be the next Crye in the circle for Avon, and she's an excellent pitcher right now in her own right, who's slowly going to be transitioning and definitely going to be that star in the circle next season.
Are they similar? Actually, let me ask this, Joleigh. Is your sister similar to you? Are you teaching all your tricks? How's that coming along?
Yeah, we're pretty similar. In a way that we've worked together for a long time now. She catches for me, I catch for her, and we have similar techniques. But she definitely has a knack for it. She throws really hard for her age. So I'm really excited to see where the next few years will take her.
Still 4 games in, obviously happy with where you are. Are there any things all coaches always talk about wanting to get a little bit better every day as the season goes on? Are there things that you're working on to improve so this team continues on trending in the right direction throughout the season?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're not working towards something, you're not going to get any better. But I think, the things that we need to work on right now is definitely that fielding piece behind Joleigh. I think you hit on it earlier when you said sometimes there is that lull when, I think last game, I think you might have struck out 8 or 9 kids in a row. And the kids kind of sit back a little bit because, Joleigh's going to take care of business, and all of a sudden that ball does get hit, you got to be ready and be prepared to where that's going to go. And I think we constantly need to be better and just really work on, focusing in on those skills so that we are keeping those runs down and we are focusing towards a low, earned run kind of thing, and not just letting in errors over and over. Because I think most of our runs at this point, to Joleigh's credit too, the fact that people aren't earning runs on her, but we are letting in a few here and there off of mistakes that we can definitely hone in and just get better and hopefully, peak a sectional start and get it down to an art form. So
let's shift now to swimming, and that's where your future lies at the University of Cincinnati. You qualified, according to my notes from Mr. Bradley here, you qualified for states in the boys championships this past winter in the butterfly. Wow. First of all, that's pretty amazing. You were all good at Rochester in swimming. I guess tell us a little about your swimming career. When did this become the focal point? Obviously you have options here. When did you know that swimming would be your future? And I guess, have you been swimming longer than you've been pitching?
I started swimming and playing softball around the same time. They've always been kind of equal, but sophomore year when recruiting started, I was really thinking about what I wanted to pursue in the future. And I just chose what made me happiest, but softball does make me very happy, but swimming, I just couldn't picture doing college without swimming, but yeah.
So swimming takes so much discipline. You're in the pool swimming laps a lot where it's just you and the water. What kind of mindset and discipline, and I know tomorrow morning you've got swimming practice bright and early, that dedication to do that sport while you're playing another sport, where does that drive and dedication come from?
Yeah, so there's always a goal in the back of my mind, and if I'm not working towards a goal, I'm just doing it for myself, I'm doing this to get better, and I'm doing this for my mental health even, just getting in the pool, it just relieves so much stress for me.
What will you be swimming in college? What strokes?
I'll be swimming the fly and the breaststroke, sprint strokes, maybe even a little bit freestyle, and hopefully some relays.
When people see an athlete like Joleigh that comes from a smaller school, competed against boys in swimming, her primary sport, and still gets that D1 offer. We talk all the time, that Jeff and I, that if you're good enough, people will see you, coach, in colleges will find you. What kind of positive message does having an athlete like this send from a small school or any school, that if you're dedicated and you're good enough, you can chase your dreams?
You know, it's fun because you can see the little kids, you can see them kind of looking up to the older kids all across the board, and you know, they get excited. They want to be like this kid because this is somebody they can see. It's someone tangible. It's not someone just on TV. And it helps because, you know, it brings more kids into that program. It brings more kids into the sport. I was joking with Joleigh just the other day. My kids were watching her throw, and they went home, and one of them is just running around the house, arms flying, like, I want to do that, you know. And it's really great to see kids like that are awesome role models for my kids and all the kids of Avon. So,
well, Joleigh, were you ever worried that you wouldn't get noticed, or did you swim for a club program that helped you get noticed too, or was there that concern that, you know, maybe in Avon I'm not going to get noticed to be a D1 swimmer?
When you're looking at like swimming, it's your time. So like I knew I'd get noticed. It's more of like AGR recognition that I'd be more worried about, like just coming from a smaller school and not being taken as seriously. But I think yeah, it's pretty set forward with my times that I wasn't that worried about getting recognized.
The clock is the key in the recruiting, not necessarily the school. Got it.
Joleigh, just going back to last year's game against Bloomfield, was the last out a no-hitter in the sectional final? Was the last out a strikeout? What was that moment? Did that play? Is that something you remember forever as an athletic highlight?
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a strikeout, the last out, but just getting that last pitch in, there were so many people watching, and it was just like so much like going on. We all ran in, and it was like super exciting. So
we'd be remiss as a student athlete that I ask you, what do you want to study in college?
I'm studying business and marketing in college.
Well, you're a tremendous success story from no matter what size schools you're from. It's amazing, all the success you've had, and we wish you and the Braves the rest of the spring good luck to try to repeat and finish off in style. Steve, anything else you want to offer for this dynamic duo?
No, just thanks for making time. We'll keep your eye on you, and as Jeff always says, hopefully we'll be talking to you again at the end of the season.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Coach Terry. Thank you, Joleigh. Good luck to you. And thanks for watching us, folks, right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports.